So we did 5 MLS starter cards a few weeks ago. We're going to go into, I don't even know what to call the video, maybe 5 pro MLS cards, you know, just guys that, you know, if you can pick them up at cheap prices, you're not going to go too far wrong. We'll also talk about the current state of the league in terms of the fixture pile up and how everything's going to pan out. If you're new around here and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It means a lot to me. Like, subscribe, share, retweet. If you haven't joined SoRare yet and you're wanting a piece of the action, all the links are down below, so you can get all that free stuff to get yourself hooked up and running. Free cards, free rare, free coin, all that stuff. Down below, you'll find it all. Let's get stuck into it. So we're going to start with a goalkeeper, okay? Now, goalkeepers are never going to be cheap. You know that, I know that. Everyone knows that, okay? Joe Willis is the #1 goalkeeper now for Nashville. Now, Nashville are an expansion team. They've just come into the division. They look set to get the playoffs, and they've built their team on defensive solidity. You know, they've been very solid, not too exciting to watch, and they've just been ticking along. Got a very strong, very experienced defence, and this guy's been a great goalkeeper so far this season. They have, at point of recording, 4 fixtures remaining against weaker opposition that you'd fancy having a goalkeeper against to do pretty well. When you look at his scores, they're there to be seen. He's a good goalkeeper. You know, at 32, he's no spring chicken. What'll happen to him next season? Will they go and get another goalkeeper? It's really hard to say. But for the 4 remaining games that they have in the normal division and then the playoffs, I would expect him to go, depending on how the draw runs, I would expect them to get another 2 or 3 matches, definitely, because they are solid, they are defensive. Then the sort of price you can maybe pick this guy up for, as far as an MLS goalkeeper goes, who's going to the playoffs, can be quite appealing. Now, when it comes to defenders, especially at Philadelphia, the main name everyone thinks about is Mark McKenzie, of course. Kai Wagner is a great right back in terms of getting up and down that wing. The way that Philadelphia plays like a diamond midfield, pretty much. So the fullbacks are like Liverpool, they just go flying up and up and up and up. And you know, they get a great victory at point of recording last night against Toronto, winning 5-0. So they're probably most people's favourites for not just the Supporter Shield but the MLS Cup itself. The guy's scores are very credible. At 23 years of age, the price you can get him on the secondary market at the moment, I think he's very, very attractive, very appealing. And even if there was to snipe on an auction, you might get him down at that 0.6 level. At 23 years of age, again, you know, Philadelphia, as I record now, have 3 remaining games in the normal season. Chicago Fire, Columbus Crew, tough game, and the Revs. That'll be a tight game. So all 3 of those games, I would expect Kai to be involved in a positive way. And then being a top seed in the playoffs, you would expect them to go far. Most people do fancy them to get to the final, semi-finals minimum. And again, the sort of price you can pick this guy up for is decent. Now, I'm a little bit biased because I do like NYFC, but Alexander Ring for midfield, for me, again, the price point you're finding him at, 29 years of age, he's in the peak of his powers, you kind of know what you're getting. For all the rotation that NYC have had enforced on them through suspensions, COVID, injuries, whatever it might be, Ring is an ever present. You know, you'll play right wing, you'll play number 10, you'll play number 6, you'll play number 8, you'll play absolutely anywhere. And again, secondary market now, we're looking at 0.125. It's a fair price for a guy you know is going to be playing a lot. New York look to pretty much have themselves in the playoffs. That seems to be all but done at this point. And regardless of how far they go, you know this guy is going to be playing minutes and contributing to the scores. They have 3 games left in the regular season at point of recording. Away to Toronto, who have just been hammered by Philly. That could go either way. A derby with the Bulls, and then away to Chicago Fire. So 3 tough games, I would say. But then they find themselves in the playoffs, and they'll be playing, because where they are standing-wise, they're around that kind of mid-level. So they'll probably have more playoff games than less. You know, the top seeds will play less because they've earned that right, and the lower seeds will play more games because there's just more teams in the playoffs this year. So they'll be around that kind of mid-level. They won't play the most amount of games in the playoffs, they won't play the least. And again, the bandwidth of scores is very, very attractive for the price you're getting them at. The boy is back in town. Alan Pulido, he's finally done his COVID, you know, social distancing stuff since he went away with the Mexican national team to sit on the bloody bench. He only played like 2 bloody minutes. Kansas, for me, are one of the best teams in the league now. Shooting top. You might have seen the wonder goal Hurtado scored the other day. He was filling in for Pulido. Kyrie Shelton's also played filling in for Pulido being out. But with Pulido now being back, he is going to be playing every game he's fit, along with Johnny Russell and a few of the other guys. He's set to hit some big scores, and because he has missed the last bunch of game weeks, you can see his price point is very, very modest at the moment for what is a top end striker in the division. You only have to look at his scores to see when he is playing. you know, he's hitting greens, he's scoring goals, he's getting right in amongst it. He's a top player, and I think, you know, let me have a quick check. The last 3 games in the regular season for Kansas, we have Cincinnati away, which they should scalp. Minnesota at home, which will be tough, and RSL, Real Salt Lake away. So games that you're going to expect Kansas to be scoring goals in. And this guy is fresh. He's not, you know, a lot of guys like Johnny Russell's been doing really well, but Johnny Russell's played like every game. So I'm kind of waiting for the form to dry up a little bit with him. But with Pulido, he had an injury, came back, got called into the Mexican team, had to social distance, self-isolate, and now he's back. So this guy is fit. And when he gets to the playoffs, when he gets to the big games, this guy's a big game player. So yeah. Goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, striker. If there's any suggestions from you guys, I've tried to keep them semi non-headline players, if that makes sense, to try and give you something to use out the video to go and take away. Any suggestions, get in the comment section down below, guys. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.